Okay, so basically this is an introduction to business part 2. And we left off on defining the different types of businesses. So let us explore now the types of business organizations. We have the proprietorship, we have the partnership, we have the corporations. Now, these all have a similar relation, so I will describe that later, but right now let's just focus on proprietorship. So, a proprietorship is basically owned by one individual. And now you basically probably have experience with seeing a proprietorship, namely, would be such laundry or anything small owned. Now, this one has a pretty good advantage. The 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 popularity with the proprietorship is the ease of organizing and the low cost that's available. Now, about 70% of businesses in the United States are this. The only problem is really that financial resources available are limited to the resources of the individual owner. Now, what does this mean? So basically, the resources that the proprietorship is able to use is just strictly limited to the resources of the owner itself. So, well, good examples of these um, are hardware shops, repair shops, laundries, and when the business gains more resources, we see this change, and it becomes a partnership. And now a partnership is just owned by two or more individuals. And with this, it would be almost the same example that we had proprietorship for. So our businesses would be automobile repair shops, small businesses, and this is just basically the graduated version of a proprietorship. And now it's not all reliant on the one individual owner. The partnership will be owned by two or more, so we can depend on the two or more individuals that own it for financial resources. Now, from the partnership, we can also get a corporation. And now, corporation is basically organized under statute or federal statutes as a separate legal entity. Now, corporations, basically, how do they make their money? Now, corporations are divided into stock. Divided into stock in order to gain money to use for their whatever they're doing, and they're taxable, so there has to be some money that's given to the government from them. And their big advantage, they have the ability to obtain large amounts of resources by issuing stock. They just issue stock, and they have this ability to gain more resources through that. Now, good examples are Toys R Us. Toys R Us Now, Toys R Us is a corporation, and basically Toys R Us has raised over 400 million by issuing shares of common stock to finance its operations. Now, the same thing of of the actions done by Toys R Us are to Coca-Cola and many others. And 20% of US businesses are corporations, and they have the biggest influence on the economy. That's key. But then we go deeper into what a corporation is, and we have the limited liability corporation. Now, limited liability, limited liability basically combines the attributes of both partnership and corporation. So you get adjoining, but it's therefore limited to its investment and issuing stocks. So now, how does this relate to the type of businesses that we've stated earlier? Now, this relates because manufacturing businesses, the type that we discussed, tend to be corporations. Likewise, so do retailers, such as Walmart, tend to be corporations as well. And then from here, what we're going to do is we're going to clear our screen and discuss basic business strategies. Now, what's a business strategy? Business strategy. What's a business strategy? Now, it's an integrated set of plans and actions designed to enable a business to obtain an advantage over its competitors. Now, what does that definition mean? Basically means they want an advantage over their competitors. This is the way they do it. So, now, I said before, most businesses, but exception with the nonprofit, seek to maximize profits. Now, the way they maximize profits is through this business strategy. So, maximize profits. Make a pretty substantial amount of money through this. And there are two different ways, two different strategies, I should say. Low cost. Low cost. And then we have the differentiation strategy, which you can probably infer what that is. Differentiation strategy. Differentiation strategy. So basically, low cost is very straightforward. Now, what does low cost mean? Low cost basically means that they set the price lower than the competitors. So price, we should say, goes down compared to the competitors. The best example for this is Walmart. And they must continually focus on lowering these costs. But their only problem and concern is what happens if another competitor may achieve even a lower cost. Well, that's going to be trouble, because where does one draw the line when one's cost is lowered substantially? Now, also, if another business differentiates its products, makes them unique, then it basically will screw over the low cost price strategy, because people will want to buy the different good. So that brings us to differentiation strategy. Now, it's basically a unique ability or even characteristic that they try to push on. Now, typically customers will want to pay the premium price due to the newfound quality. And what's really different with the differentiation strategy is that the businesses that use this strategy, they use information systems to track preferences. Now, if they give a card at Kroger's or such, they can tell which products that use the card on to buy. So, anyway, I digress. Examples of the differentiation strategy would be BMW and Morgan Stanley. Now, with the low cost price, what we're basically doing is we're decreasing the price, therefore the customer can buy more goods. So we have increase in quantity that the person will buy. But then with differentiation strategy, we have more of an increase in quality, which may come at the price of an increased price. Now, these two basic business strategies may, there may also be a third one, a combination of these factors, which would be the best. But that's basically all we need to know for this continuation of the introduction to business. And if you have any questions, just ask.